candidates for Position 1, Ward 1, and the candidate we have with us is Don Britton. His opponent is Matt Boehnke. Matt originally thought he would be able to be here, but because of a work commitment, he had to be out of town. The other two candidates we have up here are for Position 2, Ward 2, and they are Greg Jones and Ed Pacheco. We are going to start with their race. They will have their opening statements and answer the questions, and then I will read a statement from Mr. Boehnke, and Mr. Britton will give his own statement. And so it will be slightly different. Because of fairness, we can't really ask one candidate questions. It's both an advantage and disadvantage and to be on TV. So hopefully this is the way we try and keep it as fair as possible. Okay, we will begin then with opening statements, and we're going to begin with Greg Jones.
Good evening, everybody. My name's Greg Jones. I'm currently on the Kennewick City Council. I was appointed March 9th by unanimous consent of the current City Council. There were a number of applicants. It was a competitive process, and I was unanimously appointed by them. I really appreciate you all being here tonight. I want to thank Charter Communications, Tri-City Herald, the League of Women Voters, and I want to thank the Visitor and Convention Center for letting us use their boardroom. I very much appreciate it. I'm really about three things for the City of Kennewick. I want public safety, economic development, leading to better quality of life. Let me talk a little bit about each one of those. Public safety is a foundational issue for everybody in any community. In the City of Kennewick, we're very fortunate to have very strong police force, great fire department, but you have to keep a focus on that. You have to make sure that you continue to do that, and you have to make sure they have the right resources, the right training, and the right equipment, because if you're not safe in your community, you have very little to go from. Public safety also includes well-designed roadways, safe roadways, and drinking water that is safe for people. Those are all facets of the city that are very important to me. My real passion, though, is economic development. My job as Chief Financial Officer at the Hanford site, I'm very, very aware of the reliance of Hanford jobs on our community. We have to take the initiative now to reduce that reliance, to use the skills, attributes of the people that work in our cities, our ports, to reduce that reliance by having a vision for the future, because we can't rely on Hanford forever. Leading to quality of life. That's why we live here. That's why we want to continue to live here. How can we do that in our city? How can our city government make that for you? By having financial integrity and financial strength. By making each and every opportunity that you as a resident have be a wonderful opportunity. You need to be treated like a customer, and that's what I'm all about. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and we will now hear from his opponent, Ed Pacheco.
Thanks for everyone making this possible tonight. Having lived in Kennewick for most of my life, I've had the opportunity to see it grow from 20,000 residents. I understand our community culture, values, and needs. I want Kennewick to continue to succeed in the years to come by serving on the Kennewick City Council. My neighbors' concerns are my concerns. Having worked in law enforcement and served as a planning commissioner, I bring a unique set of skills and life experience to the position. However, I'm extremely concerned with the recent increase in gang activity and the fact that violent crime is up. I shall make public safety my highest priority. It was for this reason I participated on the Benton County Criminal Justice Sales Tax Citizens Advisory Committee. As planning commissioner, I see great economic growth opportunities for Kennewick. I will further work to expand the Southridge area, development of the urban growth areas, and Vista Field, and revitalization efforts on Columbia Drive. With your support, I would like to serve as your next Kennewick City Council member. Thank you.
Thank you. We will now move on to the question and answer portion, and we will begin with Mr. Jones. We do have a couple questions that came in from one person. And the first one deals with jobs. How would you create jobs or work with the City Council to do that?
Thank you. I was on the Kennewick Planning Commission for 2 years prior to serving on the City Council. I was vice chair at the time I was appointed to the City Council. The most important thing we can do is have a vision. We need to have a vision for how to create those jobs, and then we need to go after it. You heard from the port a little bit earlier today. There's immense opportunities for us right now. We're in a very fortunate situation. We have three main focus areas in the city, with the bridge-to-bridge area, the Southridge area, and the Vista Entertainment District. There's an abundance of opportunities here. We need to take advantage of those opportunities now, get a focus on what we can do to increase those jobs. And one of the other facets is the urban growth area south of Interstate 82. When I was on the Planning Commission, I helped work that through the commission, and that creating industrial and manufacturing zoning to create jobs is going to be key to our future.
Thank you. And Mr. Pacheco?
Yeah, as you heard in my opening statement, those are the areas that I too want to work on. With only 6% of industrial land use available in the city of Kennewick, we do have to do something, and the urban growth areas is where we need to go. But we're going to have to be a little bit smarter, because I don't think we're going to get the same funding as we got with the Southridge area, where we were given some money from the state, we were able to match it, and we were able to do a really good job there. I can foresee an industrial area in the urban growth areas. You heard earlier a senator talked about small modular reactors. You know, that's a great idea for Hanford. Maybe that's the time full circle thing that needs to come with Hanford. But I would be more interested in creating that small nuclear reactor. I think that would bring great jobs to our area and put us on the map. Another thing, you've read about biofuels a lot at the WSU campus. I would be very interested in helping make that area into a biofuels production area. And I got the sign. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And you will get to go first on our next question. Luckily, again, I wrote up a bunch of questions, and I'm just, we'll go with this one. Public safety is always important to any city, and you both referenced that in your opening statements. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate Kennewick's current standards? Are there areas of improvement you would like to see, and are they possible within the current budget?
It's going to be hard to meet that. I was on the Citizens Tax Advisory Council, which I can't tell you everything about because the commissioners are reviewing that plan we gave them. But every mayor, city manager, police chief, judge, prosecutor, mental health, juvenile justice were represented there, and we need help. Gang activities coming from the lower valley, we need to address it. They all indicated, in my opinion, that if this were to pass next year, they're going to have a good chance of succeeding or doing a much, much better job. You've read about violent crime in some of our papers. A lot of people don't know violent crime was up 6% last year in the city of Kennewick and 13% the year before. So I've done that. I've been on that committee. I've made recommendations. Our commissioners are reviewing it. The public will have an opportunity to look at that, I would assume, next year. So yes, I think they need help. The chief in Kennewick, you know, has said that maybe the crime apprehension team might be disfunded or disbanded if we don't get enough money to address those areas, and I see the sign.
Well, I'll give you a couple more seconds. So if you could, this is a little bit of a gimmick, I know, give a rating of 1 to 10, where would you put Kennewick, at 10 being the best?
Well, you know, Kennewick is the best. We have the best law enforcement in the Tri-Cities and in a lot of places. Chief Holmberg is the best chief in the world, I think. He does a great job with the resources he has. He has a 1.5 ratio in the city of Kennewick, but he actually wants a 2.0, and he thinks he can get there. So I guess I'm going to put him at a 10 because I love our chief. He does a great job with his resources, and I think we're doing well. We just want to be ready and be better.
Okay. And so, Mr. Jones, we'll let you answer the same question and maybe give him an extra 15 seconds too, if you need it.
Thank you. You heard me in my opening statement. Public safety is vital to the foundational aspect of any community. Obviously, the city of Kennewick is the same. Crime is increasing everywhere, but we're doing what we can to try and make sure that it doesn't increase out of control in the city of Kennewick. Our police force and our city staff are the best there is. I'm extremely impressed in my time in this city. I would give us a 9. I'm not going to give us a 10 because I think you can improve. I think any organization can improve. Thank you.
Okay. Now we will go back to Mr. Jones. And we did have another question that the same person had sent in. What is the biggest challenge facing our city over the next 5 years?
I think the biggest challenge facing every organization over the next 5 years is going to be funding. The funding that's coming from the state of Washington is declining. I just attended an Associated Washington Cities meeting last week, and the amount of money swept up by the state legislature that was being used for the city of Kennewick, that was supported Southridge, that supported roads, that supported development, is being swept up. So we're going to have challenges in order to do the economic development and infrastructure that we want to do in this city and every city. So the number one challenge we have is trying to get public-private partnerships in order to be able to do the things that we want to do in this city to increase economic development, increase family wage jobs, and therefore increase the quality of life in the Tri-Cities. Thank you.
Thank you. And Mr. Pacheco?
Could you repeat that question again, please?
Yeah, they asked, what is the biggest challenge facing our city over the next 5 years?
And I will tell you, the quality of life is very important here, and all those things that we talk about and how we want to live here is great. But we have to live in a safe place. In my world, as working in law enforcement as a canine explosive detection handler, I can't tell you how many times I've responded to mutual aid in the vicinity. I can't go into detail where I've been with gang activity. Gang activity to me is on the increase, and it needs to be addressed. I think if it gets out of control, people will feel unsafe. And as I said in the past, I think if we can help our law enforcement officers more, they can do a better job to make us safe. And being in the field, being mutual aid with those officers on a daily basis, I can see that activity getting out of control. So I think it's gang activity. It needs to be addressed, and it needs to be put under control.
Okay. Thank you. I think I'll ask one more quick question. Kennewick, and we'll just try and limit it to a minute, your answers, and we'll begin with Mr. Pacheco. Kennewick voters will be asked for a 0.1% increase in the sales tax, or 1 cent on every $10 purchase, to pay for a bond that would expand and improve the convention center. How would you advise voters to vote on this issue, and how important do you think it is to Kennewick's economic future?
Well, first and foremost, yes, I would advise people to vote yes on this. You know, a convention center brings in a lot of people. It brings in a lot of folks to see our community, and that's a good thing. And maybe they'll bring their business here. And for sure, maybe there'll be other folks that want to live here and could help help our tax base as well. So I think it's a good thing to expand our convention center. You know, for me, I really would love an option to maybe build a new one, in fact. Build a bigger and better one. That would have been my preference. Just an option. I don't know. Other people are involved. They have more information than what I have. But for me, it would have been nice to have an option of a brand new one or retrofit something we have right now. I just think bigger is better with 20,000 new residents moving in here in the next, by 2029, not to mention Benton County, not to mention the Pacheco area. I think maybe we could have supported that. I think maybe we should have built it the way we wanted. So vote yes on it. I think it's a good idea.
Okay, and Mr. Jones, your opinion?
I absolutely believe we should vote yes on the expansion of the convention center. The convention center is 10 years old. It's a great facility. It's absolutely, it looks brand new still. The people that are running it have done a wonderful job. But we need to expand in order to continue to attract and maintain the conventions that are here. Potato growers and other ones are looking to maybe go other places. And if we lose that revenue, it's not going to be good for our community. This is an absolute no-brainer. It's a freebie for people. It costs very little on every $100. You need to vote for the convention center expansion. That's simple. Thank you.
Thank you. We will move on to the closing statements, and we will begin with Mr. Pacheco.
Very well. Thanks again for everybody who sponsored this event tonight. I have been very fortunate to have lived in this community most of my life. I've raised 5 children who grew up here, graduated from WSU, served the United States military, and gone on to become professionals in their career. People ask me what the hardest thing in life that I have done: becoming a law enforcement officer, working with explosive detections, representing Hanford Patrol Protective Forces, of which 90% are veterans, a position that I'm very humbled to have served. Quite honestly, the hardest thing I've ever had to do was raise a family. Choosing Kennewick to raise a family made that job easier. By serving on the Kennewick City Council, I hope to contribute to make Kennewick a better place where families can feel safe to live, work, and play. I place a high integrity and value on integrity and trust. The groups and individuals on my website endorsement list, voteedpacheco.com, know me personally and believe and represent those values. Support from nonprofit agencies like the Fraternal Order of Police Lodge 7, a majority of labor groups in our area, like the Hanford Atomic Metal Trades Council and nurses, healthcare workers, and distinguished members of our community, and members and support from you, I hope to serve as your next Kennewick City Council member.
Thank you. And we will finish up with Mr. Jones.
Once again, I really appreciate everybody coming tonight. I like public service. I do it in my work life. I've done it throughout my career. I've served on the Red Cross board. I've been on all sorts of other boards, and I try to use my skills and abilities to make them better. I've really enjoyed serving as a Kennewick City Council person. I want to continue to do that. I'm a 20-year resident of the city of Kennewick. My wife and 2 children moved here 20 years ago from the Seattle area. We moved here because we wanted a better place to live. I'm trying to use my skills to help make it and continue to be a better place to live. We have great potential in this community. We're almost exceeding it, but we can do better. I want to help that future. I want to help be a part of that future for my children so they will want to continue to live here and live here in the future. Please vote for me on November 5th or earlier if your ballot gets there earlier for Kennewick City Council. Thank you.
Thank you. Again, I would remind you of your 2 candidates for position 2, Ward 2 are Greg Jones and Ed Pacheco. We will move on to the candidates for position 1, Ward 1, who are Don Britton, who we have with us, and Matt Boehnke. And I will start by reading Matt's statement that he submitted to us. Thank you to the Tri-City Regional Chamber of Commerce and fellow supporters for giving me this opportunity to speak this evening through me. My name is Matt Boehnke, and I am running for Kennewick City Council, Position 1, Ward 1. The number one reason I am running for office is I support increasing local jobs, helping to lower taxes, and think we need more accountability and transparency within our local government. I am qualified to do this by having strong civic background and diverse experience with multiple facets of community service. I am a resident of Kennewick for over 37 years, with my wife's family's resident since 1908, including a relative who was the first fire chief. I attended Hawthorne Elementary, Desert Hills Middle School, Kamiakan High School, and Eastern Washington University. Another reason to run is that leadership is in my blood. I was ASB president of Desert Hills Middle and Kamiakan High Schools and was a state legislative page. While at Kamiakan, I even had the privilege of sitting in as Kennewick city manager for the day. After earning a Bachelor's of Arts in Political Science from Eastern, following graduation, I earned an active duty commission in the U.S. Army flying helicopters. From Operation Desert Shield to Iraqi freedom, after 21 years of highly decorated service, my wife and 2 boys allowed me the opportunity to retire as a lieutenant colonel and return home to Kennewick to be near family and friends. Currently, I'm an Energy Northwest project manager, actively serve on the Kennewick Arts Commission, Kamiakan High School Booster Club, the local American Legion, VFW, and Bethlehem Lutheran Church. I am endorsed by the local and state Carpenters Union, Kennewick Legion Post 4, Pat Kinney, George Stoltz, and hundreds of followers on Facebook and Twitter. Another reason I'm running for office is I feel our highest priority should be the fiscal health of Kennewick and advocating for children and families, including the elderly, veterans, and the disabled. When elected, I pledge to listen to the citizens and local business leaders and to take appropriate actions to achieve the collective good. Having worked with culturally diverse groups of various sizes while deployed throughout the world, I have the demonstrated leadership with integrity, community partnership, and economic stewardship. While serving the Kennewick Arts Commission, I advocated for more open dialogue with the City Commissioner's Office. To solve this, I suggested bringing back a traditional approach. First, listen to citizens' concerns, and then develop concrete, detailed plans of action to meet those concerns within current budget limitations. Layers of accountability to ensure proper execution of the plan need to be in place and allow for maintaining both short and long-term objectives. The City of Kennewick has the foundation to excel in the development of new businesses, which will create employment opportunities for citizens and increase retail sales, which in turn helps pay for our services, such as law enforcement and fire protection. By enhancing our partnerships with the school districts, the ports, neighboring cities, interlocal agencies, and local business leaders, we can put plans in place with efficient action. Thomas Jefferson's vision of a wise and frugal government must be restored. In spite of many successes of the current city leadership, there is still work to be done. We must begin anew with a fresh and energetic voice to develop new ideas on how council takes on the tough decisions now to support desired growth. I humbly ask for your vote to be your city councilman. A vote for me is a vote for a leader who will make Kennewick the best it can be. Thank you. If you want to learn more, please visit my website, electmattboehnke.com, Facebook, Elect Matt Boehnke, Kennewick City Council, Twitter, @BoehnkeForKen, or email me at boehnkeforkennewick@gmail.com. So, thank you for listening to that, and I will now turn the microphone, so to speak, over to Mr. Britton.
Thank you. Thank you. I'd also like to thank the League of Women Voters, the Regional Chamber, the Herald, and Charter Communications, and all the other partners that put on this event tonight. My name is Don Britton, and I am running for re-election to the Kennewick City Council, Position 1. A little bit about myself. I've been married for 27 years. I have 2 grown children and a 3-year-old granddaughter. I graduated from Kennewick High School in 1979, and I'm a former Kennewick Reserve Police officer. The reason I'm running for re-election is I want to continue to serve the community that I grew up in and I raised my family in. Unlike my opponent, and by the way, I appreciate and thank Mr. Boehnke for his service to our country, but unlike my opponent, I am actually a lifelong resident of the city of Kennewick. I have lived here continually since I graduated from high school. I raised my family in Kennewick. I work in Kennewick every day serving my community with the Department of Social and Health Services. I serve a wide variety, a cultural, diverse community on a daily basis. We've had many achievements in the last 4 years since we've been on council. One of my goals when I first came on was to promote customer service and outreach efforts within our community. And I think we've done that. Councilman Hubbard was one of the ones that went with me and to many outreach events through the hockey games, football games, events in downtown. Some of the accomplishments that I'm proud of in the last 4 years was our budget. Our most recent budget we passed actually was a 7% reduction from our previous budget, and that was with no layoffs. And that was quite a feat. Our city manager should be applauded for that, with direction from our current council. We have a great opportunity in Southridge. The local revitalization fund program is the only successful one in the state. Not only is it bringing in over $5 million in tourism money to our community, but we get $500,000 back from the state in tax revenue to help pay for the bonds. So that's money directly back into our community. We've reduced our red tape by creating a one-stop customer service center down at City Hall, and that was a direct result of getting input from our local builders and developers on an outreach event. I believe in the last 4 years we've also improved our relationships with our local partners, in particular the Port of Kennewick and the home builders and developers. I think we got some great opportunities with those partners that I'll speak of in just a minute. And personally, I was able to achieve the Certificate of Municipal Leadership through the Association of Washington Cities within the last 4 years, and that has really enabled me and provided me knowledge to be a productive councilman. My priorities over the next 4 years is the same as everybody else. I want to enhance and encourage economic development in Kennewick. I want to bring family wage jobs to our community, and I want to provide a safe and affordable place for our citizens to live. I also want to ensure that we keep our ward system in place, ensuring representation on the city of Kennewick. How we do that is we expand our UGA. By 1,200 acres, we can bring in up to 400 family wage jobs. We have to redevelop Vista Field and the Columbia Drive Willows project and the Wine Center project. We need to complete the Steptoe and Hildebrand extension, and we need to increase our sales and property tax revenue so we continue providing the services for our police and fire department that our citizens deserve. I am endorsed by many local leaders and organizations, including Benton County Commissioner Jerome Delvin, Sheriff Steve Keene, Senator Sharon Brown, Glenn Marshall, the Home Builders Association of the Tri-Cities, Plumbers and Steve Fitters Local 598, and many more. I have a proven record of leadership and decision-making that have made Kennewick a great place to live. I sincerely enjoy serving our community. Kennewick is just an awesome city. We have the best chief in the whole state of Washington in our police department. I do ask for your vote on November 5th to be reelected to the Kennewick City Council. For more information, I do have a website, Britain4council.com. For more information, please contact that website. And I thank you and appreciate your consideration for your vote. I sincerely enjoy serving the city of Kennewick. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like to thank our previous candidates and Don Britton. His opponent is Matt Boehnke, and you will have a choice within about a week or so to cast your ballot. So again, thank you for attending.